What up, Finn fans? Welcome to another episode of the Finn Posse Podcast. I am your host, Big C, and this is brought to you by Game Changers Media. How is everyone doing this morning? Good morning. Day 5 of camp is upon us. How is everyone doing? Our new look Miami Dolphins. Bonnie, good morning. JD, good morning. How's everybody feeling today, this beautiful Monday? Another great day to be alive. Listen, I'm starting to feel really good about this team. I don't know if it's just me getting excited about football. The pads come back on this week. Listen, football's here. Football's here, and I'm excited. And I'm getting super stoked for this team. I'm getting super stoked for the upcoming season. And I think this Miami Dolphins team is going to outperform all the haters out there. I think this team is going to outperform. They are going to compete for a playoff spot this year. Mark my words. I love the additions that we've made in the last couple days. And you've seen the subject of the thumbnail. You've seen the subject. Can this Dolphins defense dominate? Michael K, what's up? The new look Dolphins are looking like a 6-win team. Bro, I don't believe you believe that. I believe that's just a troll statement. I really do. Michael K. And I think to be honest, you're a little bit worried because you know that if Josh Allen slips up this year, you know Miami's going to be down on your necks. We're going to be breathing down your necks. You don't believe we're a 6-win team, brother. There's no possible way. There's no way that you believe this is a 6-win. There's no way. Like, I understand the trolling thing, brother. I do. I get it. You know, it's all fun and games, but the Miami Dolphins won 8 games last year with a roster that is not nearly as good as this year's roster. I believe we've improved in many areas, and we're filling holes. And I think the last thing, I would love to add another corner to this team. I would. Another starting caliber corner. But the real last hole is this offensive line. If we can add some more depth to the offensive line, mind you, we just freed up a bunch of cap room with the Minkah Fitzpatrick deal. I think we're sitting at like $12-13 million in cap space now. We're going to do something with Zach Sealer's contract that's going to even open up maybe another $6 or $7 million. That takes us to $19 million. That puts us in a position that we're able to go make a move. We got extra draft capital. Yeah, I'm liking the position this football team's in right now. I feel like, I was a big skeptic on the ability to change the culture with the same head coach, the same general manager, the same players for the most part. But I really believe that the Miami Dolphins are taking steps in the right direction of changing the culture. I really do. I think that they are. I think they're holding themselves more accountable. I think they care about doing good for each other. And if Tua Tagovailoa can stay healthy and Chris Grier can add some more depth upon this offensive line, this Miami Dolphins team is going to compete. And God forbid if they figure out how to beat some of the better teams in the NFL. Because you know what we do to the weaker teams. We beat them. Tua is notorious for doing it in his career. We go out and we perform well against the weaker teams in the league. If Tua's there, we're going to win those games. But God forbid if Tua figures out a way to get past that mental blockage that he has. And I really I really think that's all it is. I think it's a mental blockage with this team. I think this team goes into games automatically feeling like they're going to lose the big game. And maybe with this new culture, this new holding each other responsible thing that they're going through, maybe the whole team experiences a new way of thinking. And if this team can get on because when we lose to these good teams, it's because of stupid mistakes, stupid things, stupid easy drop passes, just dumb stuff that is fixable. It's fixable. The stuff when we lost to the Eagles, drop passes that should have been caught. You know what I mean? Like the Kansas City game, a play by Tyreek where he fumbles the ball and then it's returned for a touchdown. Like, you know, a misread here or there. You know what I mean? Like, this team has the ability. They're as talented damn near as any team in the league. It's just about putting it together. What's up, Travis? What's up, Carlos? What up, Miller? It's just about putting it all together. Now, TD was on here saying, with the signing of Mike Hilton, he feels real confident because Mike Hilton's going to take care of his side of the field. Listen, that's not Mike Hilton's forte. That's not what how they're going to use Mike Hilton. Mike Hilton's going to be the nickel corner on this football team. Mike Hilton's not going to be the boundary corner. He's coming in. He's going to be the nickel corner. He's an upgrade over Cater at nickel. And Cater's pretty good at nickel, but he's an upgrade over Cater at nickel. He's absolutely phenomenal in run defense. He's absolutely phenomenal. He's a willing and able tackler. This guy is a dog. Mike Hilton is a dog. And we need more players like Mike Hilton on this football team. And Mike Hilton's pretty good in coverage too. He's pretty good in coverage also. But he's a heat-seeking missile coming from that nickel position to stop the run. And he's going to really help our run defense. So do you guys think this Dolphins defense can dominate? Last year, we were a top 10 unit in football. Last year, we were a top 10 talent in football. And Miller says, which side of the ball has more talent? Man, it's hard to say. Like, that's what's exciting about this football team. I think there's a bunch of talent on both sides of the ball. No, it's not Cam Smith and Jones. Hell no. It's going to be Cater and Jones. Or no, it's going to be Cater and it's probably going to be Cater and Storm Duck and Jones the third one. Or maybe it's Cater and Jones. Maybe it is Cater and Jones. Listen, Mike Hilton's a dog. Go watch the tape, bro. Go watch the tape, Michael K. Just go watch the tape from him last year. Finspin, what's up? Mike Hilton's a dog. Cam is no good, unfortunately, but yes, we're going to be good and maybe great again if we stay healthy. Listen, Cater Kohu's going to, hopefully he's, I think if it was a serious injury he's dealing with right now, we'd know something. So, we don't know a lot right now, but I feel like if it was something serious, we'd know. But at the beginning of camp, Cater's looked fantastic, been able to stick with Tyreek Hill. That's the great thing about the great wide receivers we have on this football team is that, listen, they can make corners better. If you can stick with our guys on defense, then you're going to be able to stick with pretty much anybody in the NFL. If you can do a pretty good job in practice against our wide receivers, you're going to do a pretty good job against most people's wide receivers units. Then why was he released? Listen, good players are released all the time, brother. You know, why was Derrick Henry why did the Titans let Derrick Henry go? Why did they not re-sign Derrick Henry? Why did the Giants let Saquon Barkley go? You can't always go by that, Michael K. Come on. What up, Aqua? What up? What up? What up? You can't always go by that, Michael K. Good players are available all the time. And the fact that he is only a nickel corner, you know, it's not like he's a boundary corner. So that does play a part in it. Does the defense showing out against his offense actually scare you? You know, that is always the double-edged sword, right? You know, you wanna hear good things about your defense, but you know it comes at the downfall of your offense, right? I don't feel that way. I think the defense is playing good. I'm not worried about this offense. This offense, like I said, at the very least is going to get you 25 a game. This offense is going to get you 25 a game if Tua's healthy. That's the only thing I'm worried about, that this offense is Tua being healthy. And and the other thing that I'm a little worried about is the continued talk about the issues with Tyreek Hill in the public. I don't want it to go too far where Tyreek gets like, you know, like, damn, bro, like, what else I got to do? You know what I mean? I don't want it to get to the point where it gets out of control and Tyreek ends up losing it. Because we need Tyreek Hill to be able to compete. This is supposed to be a dominant offense. You know, first and foremost, this offensive line's got to be improved. And I think Jonah Savinea, he's going to improve every day. He's going to get better every day. I don't want Rasul Douglas. I don't want his bum ass. He was terrible last year. I do not want Rasul Douglas. I'd rather go with Cater. I'd rather go with Storm Duck. Jack Jones is a better option, in my opinion. Jack Jones, he gets the ball in his hands and he takes it away. His first practice as a Dolphin was phenomenal. He almost had a pick his first practice. He just couldn't come down with the catch. That's another thing. What gives Tua the right to hold Tyreek accountable? Tua missed 6 games last year and his play on wasn't spectacular. Listen, yeah, I mean, I think Tua's just trying to be a leader, bro. You know, people would complain if he didn't call Tyreek out. You know what I mean? People would complain if Tua remained silent about issues on the team. So that's another one of those double-edged swords, right? How dare him call out Tyreek, but at the same time, you're not a leader if you don't call him out. You know what I mean? It's a double-edged sword. You know, I think Tua in this football team are going too far with it. Because again, I think they're making too much of an issue. And if it's just about week 17 last year, I think they're making too much of an issue. And I know a lot of you feel strongly, he quit on the team. He quit on the team. He quit on the team. And I can't tell you how to feel. I can't tell you how to feel. Rasul Douglas did play bad last year. Absolutely played bad. And yeah, we offered him shit money because he's a shit player. So good for him turning it down. Nobody else signing him neither. You know what I mean? It's not like anybody else is breaking down his door to get Rasul Douglas in the building. But again, in that week 17 thing, frustration is I know as a human being, as a man, I've been frustrated to the point that I have not been the best version of myself. You know what I mean? As a man, I can admit that I've been so frustrated that I have not been the best version of myself. And I've said things in certain situations that I did not truly mean. You know what I mean? I've said hurtful things, angry things that I did not mean to the people that I care about that I did not mean. I'm not a perfect human being. Nobody in this world is. And I don't think someone should have to apologize for 8 months straight to be forgiven for their sins. You know what I mean? It was a bad look on Tyreek's part. It was 100%. It was a bad look. He shouldn't have did it. He shouldn't have said the things he said. But he also shouldn't have been put in front of a camera after the most disappointing moment of his career. He shouldn't have been forced to go and do media availability after suffering his first missed playoff appearance of his career. Tyreek already been drugged through the mud over this stuff already. I think regurgitating the same thing is only going to hurt the situation more. I agree, Miller. I agree, and that's the thing I'm worried about. That is the thing that I'm worried about, is that eventually he's gonna be like, "Damn, y'all still don't forgive me." Then you know what I mean? To you, get me out of here. And I don't think it needs to be that. You know what I mean? Like, he has said the right thing since then. He's apologized over and over and over again. That's like saying a soldier wounded on the field shouldn't be able to hold a deserter accountable for leaving the brothers in the middle of a battle. That's a flawed logic. Listen, let's not compare football to life and death situations. This guy battled and played all year long with an injured wrist that he could have missed. He could have sat home and collected a big fat check from the Miami Dolphins. But no, he came and he played for this team last year. And in the second half of a meaningless game, he got frustrated because our coach can't make adjustments. Our quarterback can't stay healthy. Tyreek's not the one to blame for the deficiencies on this football team, folks. If you're blaming Tyreek for the issues on this football team, built-in excuses. Josh Allen played the entire season with a broken left hand and still won MVP. Well, I mean, he doesn't throw with his left hand neither, and Josh Allen shouldn't have won MVP, so there's that too. I mean, the guy Bonnie, he's showing up on time to practice and stuff. Why are we continuing to bring it up? Why is Tua giving this much information to the public? Why are they wearing everything on their sleeve when it comes to Tyreek? They don't need to call that man out in public like that no more. Everybody knows what he did wrong. Like, we're talking something that happened in January. It's July. It's the end of July. So you're saying that Lamar Jackson shouldn't have won his first one when Allen had better stats than him last year? I'm saying that Josh Allen shouldn't have won last year. I can't speak for prior years. Maybe Josh Allen was robbed of one. But last year, Lamar Jackson should have won that. I can't speak on prior years, Michael K. Maybe you're right. Maybe Lamar stole one from Josh. Maybe he did. But last year, yeah, Tyree, and I just don't want to see them take it to a place that it's going to be harmful to this team. Like Tyreek only getting 3 passes the first 2 days of training camp, where he usually sees 8, 9 a day. You know what I mean? Like, don't start playing that game with Tyreek. You need Tyreek Hill. He's sitting there sticking up for Mike McDaniel, and he's a Mike McDaniel guy, you know what I mean? And I'm talking about Tua. Don't go get Mike McDaniel fired by losing to Tyreek, because if Tyreek wants out and Tyreek doesn't play for this football team, Mike McDaniel's getting fired. There ain't going to be no question. Tyreek also said he wants to punch the coach in the face for not getting him the ball. I want to punch Mike McDaniel in the face too for not getting him the ball. What up, Shake? What up? Thing about Tua is, if you ask him a question, he's going to tell you the truth. He just can't help himself. Well, he can't help himself staying healthy neither. Maybe he needs to learn some self-control then. And again, I'm a Tua fan. I like Tua, so I'm not trying to shoot too much shade at Tua, but Tua's not damn perfect either. You know what I mean? Michael K., you got Hulk Hogan was a icon, a wrestling legend. And again, Hulk Hogan, people wishing this guy, I hope he doesn't rest in peace, because he had bad moments in his life. You have black people that say that Hulk Hogan was not racist. Yeah, he made a racial comment. He's done some bad things in his life. But man, if all of our dirty laundry was thrown out into the public, man, what would people say about you? You know what I mean? What would people say about you if all your dirty laundry was, every bad moment that you've ever had in your lifetime was displayed for the public to ridicule? Well, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu did keep Tua healthy. It's when Tua stopped going to Jiu-Jitsu that he got hurt again. You think Ozzy Osbourne did more in his life than Hulk Hogan did? Do you really believe that, Michael K? You know how many Ozzy Osbourne was a drug using, and Hulk Hogan used steroids, don't get me wrong. Hulk Hogan used steroids, don't get me wrong. But Hulk Hogan, you know the impact he had on children? You know how many things he's done for children? Like, give me a break. Give me a break, brother. Maybe he did, but not to the extent that Ozzy Osbourne did. Hulk Hogan did way more. Way more for the human race than Ozzy Osbourne did. Ozzy Osbourne hasn't been in his right mind in 30 years. He's been like a zombie. And I don't want to talk bad about Ozzy Osbourne. Rest in peace to Ozzy Osbourne too, but you can't compare the two. You can't compare the two. I mean, extent does make a difference. You know, you can enjoy alcohol once in a while, or you could be a drunk that gets in the car and kills people. You know what I mean? Again, a racial comment doesn't necessarily make you racist. I think it was a bad moment. You got black people that said Hulk Hogan treated them 100% great. That they could, people that call Hulk Hogan a brother that are black. That's not racism. I think they caught him in a bad moment, saying something that he didn't truly mean. It's just bad timing. But Hulk Hogan did way more good on this planet than he did bad. He inspired so many people around the world. So many. Let's take a look at the Dolphins defense last year. And this was the depth chart that I found for the Dolphins for last year. And I want to compare it to this year and see how much you think this football team has improved. So we got Zach Sealer at lefty end, Neville Gallimore at nose tackle, right defensive end, Calais Campbell. Mind you, Calais Campbell only played 50% of the snaps. I don't know what the exact number is. I know Calais Campbell was definitely on a snap count. Then you had Jalen Phillips, who didn't play, so you boost Chop Robinson up there. David Long Jr., Duke Riley behind him. Then you had Anthony Walker Jr., Jordan Brooks behind him. Jordan Brooks eventually became the starter. Bradley Chubb, he didn't play. Shaquille Barrett, he didn't play. Left corner, you had Kendall Fuller, who missed a bunch of time last year, dealing with concussions and other injury issues. Cam Smith was the second corner, not much playing time. Jordan Poyer, strong safety. You know how that turned out. Absolutely horrible. Secret agent from the Buffalo Bills. Then you had Javon Howland, who, I don't even want to talk about Javon Howland. Jalen Ramsey at the right cornerback position. And Kader Kohu and the nickel. At the nickel. Let's take a look at this year's projected depth chart. Lefty end, Kenneth Grant. Benito Jones at nose tackle. I think Benito Jones is every bit as good as Neville Gallimore. You got Jordan Phillips behind him, Zeke Baker's behind him. Great young depth. Zach Sealer, so obviously that's a wash. The difference this year, we got Jalen Phillips coming back. Terrell Dotson, and I really believe that Terrell Dotson's going to end up losing his job to Willie Gay Jr. I think Willie Gay Jr. is going to be that other inside starting linebacker. So you're going to have Willie Gay, Jordan Brooks, and Bradley Chubb's back and healthy this year. The linebacker crew is way better this year. I'm going to say the defensive line is a wash. I'm going to say it's a wash. And you can even give the edge to the defensive line from last year because of Calais Campbell. You feel he's so much better than Kenneth Grant. But I don't think it's going to be as significant as you think. I don't think it's going to be significant as you think. But this linebacker unit is way more improved. Jordan Brooks, like I said, he's flying all over the field. Willie Gay Jr. is flying all over the field. These are two great, very good. I'm not going to say great, very good inside linebackers. And with the addition of Jalen Phillips coming back, Bradley Chubb coming back from injury, and Chop Robinson in the second year, this linebacker crew is greatly improved over last year. And then we go to the cornerback room. They got Jack Jones in a starting spot, and Storm Duck, and Cater Kohu is the nickel. I don't know if that's how it's going to end up turning out. I think Cater's going to end up playing a boundary corner, and then it's a toss up between Jack Jones and Storm Duck. I think Storm Duck might get the first opportunity at the starting job. Jack Jones is the first replacement for those guys. Cam Smith, you see him second on the depth chart. I don't think he's going to be the second guy. I can see Isaiah Johnson jumping over Cam Smith. Kendall Sheffield. I really like Kendall Sheffield. I think Mike Hilton's going to be that nickelback. And then at safety, Ashton Davis is an improvement over Jordan Poyer. Ashton Davis is an improvement over Jordan Poyer. Jordan Poyer is washed. He was absolutely horrible last year. And then Minkah Fitzpatrick is a complete upgrade over Javon Holland. Listen, Javon Holland, first 2 years in the league, he looked like he was going to be the next star at safety. He looked like he was going to be the next star in the NFL at safety. The last couple years, he has not been it. Minkah is a all-pro at the safety position. The Steelers didn't use him correctly last year. He is a team leader. He's going to help this defense tremendously. I think this defense is greatly improved this year. I really do. I think this defense is going to be considerably better this year, especially as far as sacks and getting turnovers. As far as getting sacks and getting turnovers. What up, Timothy? That's not true. That's not true. Cater's rookie year, he played a lot of boundary corner. And Mike Hilton is a better run stopper than Cater Kohu. I gotta go back up. I missed a lot of comments while I was up there talking. Dotson's not going to get cut. I mean, he's making plays. He's just not all over the field like Willie Gay is. Yeah, I like our linebacker core. I really do. What's up, Michael Lombardo? What up, Glenn? Like I said, Glenn, if Cater's injury was serious, I think we would have heard something. Would I bring back Christian Wilkins? I don't think Christian Wilkins is gonna be ready to play this year, but absolutely. If he could play and we could get him on the cheap because he's gonna get paid from the Raiders. What up, Anthony? Why wouldn't you bring back Christian Wilkins? Why wouldn't you? Could you imagine a defensive line and you'd have to switch to a 4-3. You'd have to switch to a 4-3. But a defensive line with Zach Sealer, Christian and Grant in the middle, and then Bradley Chubb on the other side. And then linebackers, Jordan Brooks, Chop, and Jalen Phillips. Yeah, I don't think he's going to be healthy. I think the corners, listen, this cornerback room, I'm feeling better about. The pass rush is going to be good enough that quarterbacks aren't going to have all day to throw. And that's when we get in trouble, is when the quarterback's able to break the pocket and we're not able to get any pressure and they're able to find the open guy. But I have confidence in the corner group that we have right now to be able to stick with a wide receiver for 3-4 seconds. You know what I mean? I don't believe Christian Wilkins is going to get his money. Believe that. Yeah, Bonnie, if it was serious, we would have heard about it. Like if it you know what I mean? If stuff season injury, if stuff is season ending, you hear about it right away. I mean, it's pretty clear cut. I think pads are on tomorrow, Glenn. Maybe they're on today, but I'm pretty sure it's tomorrow. I think Chop Robinson is, I mean, I don't know if Chop is the same as Cam Wake. Cam Wake was more a powerful player. The bend that Chop Robinson gets is absolutely amazing. It's crazy. Chop Robinson is a freak. Yeah, I think pads come on tomorrow. But Chop Robinson has the opportunity to be, like Jalen Phillips said, one of the best defensive players in this league, a defensive player candidate. Defensive player of the year candidate. Let's take a look at the defensive rankings from last year. Okay. What happened there? Oh, there we are. All right, let's see. I'm sorry if you guys can't really see this too well. I know it's not very big. Miami Dolphins overall defensive ranking last year. The Miami Dolphins were 4th. Total points given up. Overall defense, we were in 4th. 8 yards per game. Miami Dolphins gave up 314.4 yards per game. Total points. Let's see. Total points 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10th in total points per game given up at 21.4. And again, 21.4 points per game given up last year. When Tua played, we scored 25 points a game. 25. Rushing yards given up a game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9th in rushing yards given up a game. Ninth in passing yards given up a game. The areas that we weren't in the top 10, in most categories we were in the top 10 defensively. The areas that we weren't in the top 10, and that's why people question how good our defense truly was. That's why people question how good our defense truly was. It's because as far as sacks and turnovers, we weren't very high on the list. Grandizer, what's up? What's up? We didn't produce a lot of turnovers. We didn't produce a lot of sacks. But I think this year's going to be different. I think with Bradley Chubb coming back healthy, Jalen Phillips coming back healthy, with Chop Robinson in the second year, we're going to get the sacks. And pressure on the quarterbacks creates turnovers. Pressure on the quarterback creates turnovers. It makes quarterbacks do things with the football that they don't normally do. We don't need everything to work out perfect, Miller. We got a tough stretch of games. We do. But we got a lot of winnable games also. That if we just go out there and play the type of football this team is capable of playing, that we should win. We got a very favorable schedule at the beginning. And let me bring up the schedule again. Let's take a look at the schedule again. Hopefully I still got it on here, because I gotta delete stuff to make stuff available. Week 1 Colts. That should be a win for us. 100% should be a win. The statement isn't true when you're playing against the Buffalo Bills. 6 winnable games is a lot. Come on, brother. Come on. And the Colts are better than the Miami Dolphins. Michael K., I got to question your knowledge about football. What about the Colts is better than the Miami Dolphins? The Colts should be a win. Should be. Now, you can't. This is the NFL, folks. This is the NFL. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. But the Dolphins should win against the Colts. The Dolphins should beat the Patriots. The Miami Dolphins are going to beat the Buffalo Bills week 3. They are going to beat the Buffalo Bills week 3. But let's just say you call that a loss. The Jets, that should be a win. The Panthers, that should be a win. The Chargers in Miami, that should be a win. I know the Chargers made the playoffs last year. Good for them. Good for them. The Chargers coming all the way from the West Coast to Miami. Miami should win that football game. The Miami Dolphins should win that football game. Cleveland Browns should be a win. Atlanta Falcons. The Miami Dolphins should be better than the Atlanta Falcons. That should be a win. That should be a win. And then you got the tough stretch. Baltimore, that should be a loss. That's probably a loss. Buffalo, that's probably a loss. Washington, that's probably another loss. That's probably 3 straight losses right there. I think Washington's one of the best teams in the NFL, probably a top 5 team. I think Baltimore's a top 5 team. I think Buffalo is a top 10 team. Then you got your bye. Coming out of your bye, you got the Saints. That should be a win. You got the Jets again. That should be a win. Then we got Pittsburgh. Listen, Pittsburgh could either be really good or they could crumble. They could crumble. I mean, that's a toss-up, folks. That's a toss-up. It depends on where these teams are when they meet. Cincinnati's got a great offense, right? A great offense. But their defense is not that good. Their defense is not that good. They're in Miami, Sunday Night Football. The Miami Dolphins can beat the Cincinnati Bengals. You got Tampa Bay in Miami. Tampa Bay is a really good team, but I think Miami's just every bit as good as Tampa Bay is. That's another one of those toss-up games. And if the Miami Dolphins truly want to win and win playoff games and change the narrative, they're going to have to win those type of games. They're going to have to win the games against teams that, it's a toss-up. We can't always just take the L in those type of games. Tampa's a good team. We got to beat good teams. Tampa's a team that we can beat. And then you end the year with the Patriots, and that should be another win. You take Tua over Burrow in a shootout? No, obviously you don't take Tua over Burrow in a shootout. But I take the Dolphins defense over the Bengals defense. And you're right, injuries can. Top 10, and you want to question my football knowledge. Oh, the Bills are supposed to be top 5, Michael K. The Bills are automatically supposed to be top 5. I can't automatically put the Bills in the top 5. I'm sorry. I think Baltimore's better than the Bills. Yeah, I mean, Blake got it. Bills are the same as Miami. Take Allen out and they're trash. I think Miami's got a better roster overall than Buffalo, in my opinion, besides the quarterback. Listen, the Dolphins, that cold weather thing, it's an issue, but it's not as big an issue. Again, yeah, I say Baltimore, the Chiefs, the Eagles, Washington, and Detroit. So that takes Buffalo to 6. I don't know if the Rams are better than Buffalo. I'm not gonna jump out the window. I try to be realistic. You know what I mean? If Buffalo was the top team in football, I'm gonna say they're the top team in football. You know what I mean? But I don't. Listen, that's not a depth piece. That was a special team player. Miller. Artie Burns was doing nothing but playing special teams for this team. I wouldn't say Tampa Bay is not better than Buffalo. I think there's 5 teams that are better than the Buffalo Bills. I don't care. Listen, I don't care what the odds are. I don't care what the rankings are. I'm looking at teams top to bottom, and the Buffalo Bills are not the same as the Baltimore Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens clearly have the superior football team. Michael K, which of those teams that I named, the 5 teams that I named, are you better than? Which of the 5 teams I named are you better than? Kansas City, Baltimore, Philadelphia, Washington, and Detroit. I think 6 is very, very reasonable. I don't think 6 is a terrible spot to be in. If you're a top 6 team in the league, you got a chance at a Super Bowl. It's not like I'm shitting on the Buffalo Bills. I don't think I'm shitting on the Buffalo Bills. I don't think I'm being unrealistic in saying that the 5 teams that I named are better than the Buffalo Bills. And chat, let me know if I am. And be real. Don't be a troll. Don't be a Buffalo Bill hater. Am I being unrealistic in naming 5 teams better than the Buffalo Bills? Because I don't want to be that. Yeah, obviously, Glenn. You know what I mean? But, you know, I said Baltimore, Kansas City, Philadelphia, Washington, and Detroit. And then I'd put Buffalo at 6. Maybe, no, no. So Baltimore's not better than Buffalo. Washington's not better than Buffalo, and Detroit is not better than Buffalo. I mean, listen, I understand. I listen. You're being a little bit of a homer right now, but I get it. I get it. You have confidence in your team, and that's cool. That's cool. I'm telling you, realistically, from what I'm looking at, I see Buffalo at 6. No, I don't think the Texans are better than Buffalo. I'm not just going to throw teams out there. You know what I mean? I think the Buffalo Bills, if you ask me if the Buffalo Bills or the Texans have a better chance of making the Super Bowl, I'm going to tell you the Buffalo Bills do. Those 6 teams, I feel like, those 5 teams, I feel like have better chances of making the Super Bowl than the Buffalo Bills. I don't think Grandizer. I don't see it. I don't listen. The Rams. I'm not as high on the Rams. The Rams can go through good spurts, but I don't think the Rams are. I think Josh Allen puts himself over. He's so good. Josh Allen's so good. He just you can't put the Bills as the same as the Rams, the Broncos, Vikings, or the Texans. That's how good Josh Allen is, bro. I can't say the Rams had the same chance of making the Super Bowl as the Bills or the Broncos or the Vikings or the Texans. Josh Allen's just that good. I don't know. Finspin, Washington made a lot of key additions to a team that went to the NFC Championship game last year. Yeah, I think the Rams will be decent. Bengals, no. The Bengals offense is better than the Bills offense, but their defense is terrible. Again, I don't listen. I try to be realistic with my takes on this channel. I hate the Buffalo Bills. I hate them. But I'm not gonna put the Bills at 10 because or 12 because I hate the Buffalo Bills. I'm gonna call it how I see it. Buffalo won't make the playoffs, B. Woo! Woo! Listen, I don't think there's a world that Buffalo doesn't make the playoffs. Is there a world that the Miami Dolphins win that division? You never know. If Miami can steal some games and Buffalo loses a game or two that they're supposed to win, if Buffalo loses a game or two they're supposed to win, Buffalo don't have the easiest of schedules. And you got to talk about probably worst case scenario for the Buffalo Bills for the Miami Dolphins to win the division. But let's take a look at it. Let's take a look at the Bills schedule and see how many games it would take for us to overtake and win this division. Somebody keep track. Week 1, Baltimore Ravens, loss. That's absolutely a loss in my book. Listen, can the Bills beat Baltimore? Absolutely. The Bills can beat Baltimore. They can. But I think that's a loss. We're talking about worst case scenario for the Buffalo Bills. So 0-1. Week 2, they beat the Jets, so 1-1. Week 3, they lose to the Miami Dolphins, 2-1. 1-2, I mean. 1-2. Week 4, they beat the Saints, 2-2. Week 5, they beat the Patriots, 3-2. Atlanta, they win that, 4-2. Week 7 bye. Week 8, Carolina, 5-2. Week 9, Kansas City, 5-3. Week 10 at Miami, 6-3. Week 11 at Tampa, 6-4. At Houston, 6-5. At Pittsburgh, 6-6. At Cincinnati, 6-7. At the Patriots, they typically drop one to the Patriots. 6-7. What are we at? 6-8. At Cleveland, 7-8. At Philadelphia, I think I lost the game somewhere. 7-9. And at the Jets, 8-9. Worst case scenario. Now, do I think that's realistic? No. But they have 9 losable games on their. They really do have 9 losable games. They have 9 games on their roster they can lose. Like real life, there's 9 games I can see the Buffalo Bills capable of losing. Now, I don't think for a second they lose all 9 of those games. Not even close. Noah Fant reported to visit Miami today. Listen, go find us more offensive line help. We don't need that tight end. Listen, I don't care about that tight end position. You know what I mean? But I just showed you 9 possible games the Buffalo Bills could lose. Are they going to lose all those games? No. Josh Allen's too great for that. But there's 9 teams on that schedule that Buffalo could lose to. And that's not even counting like a team like Atlanta or, you know what I mean? Atlanta could put a big game together and compete in that game. And it's on the road, I believe. And that's with beating the Dolphins once. You know what I mean? Real life, worst case scenario, they drop both games to the Dolphins. Go get some help, Timothy Washington. I don't care who it is. Go get help for that offensive line because that's going to be crucial. We need to be able to run the football if we want our offense to run the way it is capable of running. Big C going to visit the Finns. Suit up, my guy. Love the dream. What position? What you mean, brother? Now, I don't think Noah Fant signed with anybody, but I think we need to use that money. Go get us another corner. Go get us some more offensive line depth. That tight end position, even if Darren Waller does nothing for us, I'm not worried about the tight end position. I'm not worried about the tight end position. I don't think we listen. If Noah Fant wants to come here on a super cheap salary, cool. But as far as spending any sizable amount of money, if you could try out for the Finns, what position would you suited for? Man, I probably like to play safety. You know what I mean? I think I'd like to play safety, be able to come down, get a running head start, and lay the boom on somebody, but still be able to get picks and be flashy to a point. You know what I mean? I think I'd like to play safety. Be able to take wide receivers' heads off across the middle. That'd be the position I like. I mean, you always got that, you know, the quarterback's the king of the world, you know what I mean? But I'd like to hit people. I'd like to separate people from the ball. But yeah, if this team can add some offensive line depth, maybe another starting caliber corner, the Miami Dolphins, Waterboy can lead the head coach. You ain't lying, Vince, man. You ain't lying. But yeah, day 5 of training camp today. If anything major happens, any major signings or any major issues, I'll be back to let you all know about it. I appreciate you all. I probably got a new channel coming here soon, so keep a lookout for that. I'll inform you all. I hope you guys all follow me over to that channel and help me boost that channel up as quickly as possible because it's definitely rough losing all my subs and stuff and all the hard work I put into this one, but it is what it is. But here's to a healthy day of camp. I love you all. Y'all are beautiful. I appreciate you all. Raphael, good Good afternoon, sir. Good morning. Cater Kohu day to day. That's beautiful. I appreciate you guys. I love y'all. And you know what it is. Fins up. And let's hope and pray that these fins stay healthy. Until next time, you know what it is. Fins up forever, baby. Peace.